Howdy folks, back again, Mike Sports here, Whiplash DVD. I just welded these gussets onto these, and I got some fresh axles in from RCV Performance. I really broke the bank on these suckers. They are salty dogs. I bought these because my 96 Tacoma that I used to run, I broke axles constantly in the front. That was my worst problem I ever had with the truck. So I went ahead and bought these because I wanted to lengthen the axles as well. This is what really impressed me. The inner CVs on these are huge. I don't know the exact details, but these things are made out of some serious hard steel. I want to explain why I went with these axles instead of just getting the shafts from Total Chaos. First off, I did not want to have to do the work of changing them. It's a pain in the ass. I don't want to deal with it. I'm sure to some people maybe it's not a big deal, but to me, I didn't want to deal with it. It's a messy, messy job. The other thing is you don't get the warranty. Plus, you must have factory Toyota axles. I did call Total Chaos on this one. They told me the factory axles are the only ones that will actually plug into their shafts. The factory CV joints plug into their axle shafts. So I don't even have factory Toyota axles anymore. I already broke these. So that's not an option for me. And if you look at the money that you're going to spend, shafts will cost you about 650 bucks. I would have had to buy stock axles from a junkyard. That's about 250 bucks for a pair. You then have to replace your inner boots. You have to get the inner cups machined. So you got a machine shop bill there. You're then going to need new grease and bands to put them all back together, and you're going to get messy as hell. I totaled it up. It would cost me about 1,100 bucks to put those axles together, not counting any of the labor that I do myself. So I'm at almost half the money that I spent on these, and these get a lifetime warranty, and they're deemed unbreakable. So we'll see. If anyone can break them, it'll be me. Right now I'm going to put these in and see how it works out. I'm a little concerned with clearance here up against my shock when my spindle turns. Of course, I have my own custom fab long arm kit. I just tore these apart to weld these gussets in. I'm a little concerned with clearance here. We're going to see how it goes. The first thing I notice when I go to put these in is the clip on the inner shaft, on the inner CV is really kind of loose on there. What you want to do is you don't want to let it hang down like that. You want to kind of flip it this way so it can't hang down quite as low. I learned that trick from building Hondas. And hopefully this will go in without too much trouble. Although I gotta say, these suckers are stiff. Oh yeah, popped right in. And I gotta assume that clip's gonna lock it in there pretty tight. It does. Ooh, nice crisp, slides right in. These things. You know, maybe I'll just lift that up to go in there. Gotcha. It's close. It's fucking close. But it's definitely gonna rub a little bit right there. Alright, I skipped some video here for a while because I was trying to figure out what to do when I slid that axle into place. By the way, it went right in, came right out, nice and easy. But when I stuffed that axle in on the driver's side, I'm on the passenger side right now. When I stuffed it on the driver's side, I found out that the outer boot was going to rub the edge of my shock and the edge of the shock mount here. Just some of the high points in that boot. Only at full droop and full lock, when you turn the wheel this way, it pushed this over just enough that it was going to rub some of those high points on the boot. So I got a little frustrated, shut the camera off, but I figured out what to do. I fixed the other side by moving this whole mounting point back a little bit. I just re-drilled another hole right next to this hole, so close to it that the holes ran together. So I'll show you what I did over here. This was my solution. You can see the original hole right here. I slid the hole back by re-drilling it. I tacked a washer onto there then, and I tacked 2 washers on the inside because this is a little too wide anyway. Now you shouldn't run into this problem if you have a Total Chaos setup, because these axles are made for the Total Chaos arms. So I don't think you'll run into that problem if you have Total Chaos arms, or maybe even some of the other manufacturers. But in my case, I use stock arms and lengthen them. Definitely wanted to fix that, and I wanted to point that out to you. If those boots on those axles are going to hit anything, at any point, even if it's just at full lock, full droop, whatever. Don't put them on there, grind that stuff away, make it clear. I'm going to show you what I did on the other side just in case you run into the same problem. Basically, get my arm in place here where that bolt would fit through, and then slide this back. That way I'm not moving this up or down, because right now these things are set perfect. So I'm going to slide this in like so, and mark this where I want my new hole to be, which is going to be right about there. Come on, bitch. So now I got my hole drilled out here to a 1/2 inch. And then when I move this up, I already know it's not quite going to go in there because I drilled it back so far that this is going to hit the A-arm. So what I did on the other side, I'm going to do it again over here. I actually just heated this up with a torch inside here and beat it in with an air chisel just to make clearance for that so it doesn't hit straight in the noise. There's a little hole down there making it whistle.
Look at those bitchin' sweet torching goggles.
You look like a big old bug eyes. Hold that for me. Making Jesse James proud. Bending some metal. Pick that up, make sure we got room now. Plenty of room now, plenty of clearance. So at this point, I just have to take all this metal off this edge and around the front. Oh, that's hot. This edge right here and around the front just to make sure that my axle boots don't hit that. And then I'll finally be able to get these axles in here. Been waiting all day. Plenty of room so those boots don't hit now.
You are cutting the other side off?
No, don't really have to.
No.
He's just making clearance.
All right, this is why I use 2 washers on the inside, because there's a gap here and you want your shocks to tighten up and squeeze that. So that's why I'm putting 2 washers on the inside over here. So I wanted to push this as far forward as possible to get it away from the axle boot as well. So these are going in here to try to not burn myself. Thank you, Bear. Now I just need the welder, Bear. Yeah, so Bear can get the welder. Pretty cool.
I don't like how thin this was here between that other bolt hole
Stop,
there.
bro.
This-
Oh, well, that's why I'm welding the washer on. Okay, a little tap here. Not enough to melt the bushings, but enough to make the washers stick in place.
Oh, Bear got that steering shit right.
All right, so I got everything put back together now, and I just want to point out that I have clearance here. This is where I was having problems before. I know we didn't film it, but these were literally touching when I would steer at full droop. That's what I mean by full droop, full lock. These things were rubbing the shock and down here on the bracket, and now as you can see, I got clearance there, which means I'm gonna have clearance the whole way up through the range of travel. So I won't have to worry about rubbing those boots or knocking them. Now I'm just gonna put my wheels back on and take this thing for a drive. On the next episode, I break a tie run in at the mud bog and really put these axles to the test. Come on back.